Hey, what's going on, fellow trade geniuses? This is Philip, and sorry I haven't been able to get to as many videos as I would like, but been crazy busy, and also been battling with some back issues, so takes the wind out of the sails. But trying to just focus on getting the signals out and stuff like that. But I wanted to get back on the videos and give an outlook for this week. So here we go. What I kind of wanted to do was give kind of like where we're at in the world as far as the ES. And basically, I've got a couple lines here. I've got 2358 area shown here and the 2333, 34 area here. Um, and the reason for that is we've got some price support resistance here and also definitely here. What we also do have is this volume areas that are definitely showing where the coincides with the support and resistance. So what we're looking at is well, let's back up to last week. So things started getting weak. Friday I said was a day for buying puts. Really did look like this level here, which you can see. We've got volume support. Looked like that 233 or that 2334 level was going to break. There was a major stick save. Basically, what happened was they pulled the healthcare bill, and then we had a big rally. Like a 30-minute bar was like 10 points, which is huge. And so the question is why? Well, basically now it's going to they're going to just say okay, the healthcare thing is shelved. Now we're going to go look at the tax plan, and there's big hype on the tax plan. So that was kind of like a clearing of the uncertainty of the healthcare bill. Okay, they're not going to worry about that now. Now they're going to focus on the tax plan. That is the general consensus of kind of the feedback over the weekend. What would might happen is that we get some more hype and pump, and then this thing rolls back over next week or this week. I think this level here is super key, and the reason why is because, as you can see here, like this area here is a big volume void. I mean, this just was just this levitation up, and really no support to back it. So what you're going to find is these areas that don't have a lot of volume support, they're just going to you're going to break through these levels and you're going to drop. So what I see is this 2290 area, I think is kind of where we're going to see, and it ties into this here. Okay, this area here, excuse my messy line. But we've got volume here, so this section here, we've got support all the way down to 2250. I do think though these are your key levels to watch. I'm pretty sure they're going to hype it up. If we gap down, that would be really interesting. We'll find out here shortly. We've got about an hour till the futures reopen. So it's kind of where we're at on the ES, and I just thought I'd throw that out there. I think transports and the Russell definitely weaker. USD/JPY I think leads, and that's broken its base. But so a lot of internals aren't looking good, and I think there's a lot of risk here. Definitely don't want to be a buyer of stocks here, but I think the name of the game this week is going to be the focus on the tax plan. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, how they hype it up, and how the market reacts. But I do see a rollover happening. Okay, so that's ES and kind of the big picture, because ES kind of makes everything. Everybody looks at that. All right, so let's go take a look at some currencies and our currency outlook for the week. Okay, so these are our Nadex pair. Excuse me. These are our Nadex pairs, and basically I've got them in quadrants. So we'll go through this. So on our channel, our Trade Genius channel, nothing really pops out until we get to EG. Then EG, let's take a look at this. Okay, so we've gapped up here. It's 5 p.m. Nadex doesn't open for another hour, but we have gapped up into the top of the channel, so that's definitely going to be on the radar. Um, if we look longer term on that, and actually let's go into the 4 hour. I like looking at the 4 hour because we see some big support resistance areas, which we like to use in conjunction with our overbought oversold levels and our probabilities. So this is this 86.58. Okay, that's a pretty decent support resistance level. As you can see here on Friday, we hit that, and so what we might end up seeing is this gap up comes down, hits this 86.61 level, and then resumes higher. Depending on that price action, we could take it a couple different ways. We could wait for the trend to move to go back up, and see about if that trend has started. Then we have a continuation, some continuation entries we could take advantage of shorter term, 1 to 3 hours. Otherwise, what we'd be looking at would be probably this 8,700 level. I think would be one area that would be looking to fade. Um, so that would be in the initial read there on the EG. All right. Okay, so let's take a look and see what else we got. Um, the the currencies kind of ended, I would say, somewhat flat um, on Friday. So as far as like any type of trend re-entry moves, which I've been wanting to introduce since we've been, January, or I should say, February into March, there was a lot of like move up and then sideways, and so but there was not something we were taking advantage of was the trend entries, which we have entries for that I'll be tweeting out. Okay, so but in conjunction with the EG, we have this Euro USD, which is driving the EG cross. Excuse me. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Again, a gap up, so that's basically why we saw the EG gap. Now let's go look at the longer term on this 4 hour. Yeah, let's zoom out here. Okay, so broke above that. I think that's pretty key here. This 0828. So again, I think we're going to see if this is really a breakout move, this will get retested. Excuse me, retested, and then we're going to move higher. We are going to run into some resistance at this point here, which would be the 0874 area. So on the daily, maybe the 0880 strike. Okay, so we'll see how that plays out with our shorter term overbought channels. Um, 4 hours is kind of our huge channel. These are like, this would be like a weekly. If we got into like the overbought, oversold areas here, this would be a weekly type of play by a weekly binary. So, but what we do is look at that for large support resistance areas, and then we look at these here for our shorter term stuff. So going back to, this is our channel that we've been using. And then this is a wider channel that we've been using because of the type of price action that we got in February and the first part of March. So there's more, now you can see here the 8,700 level that we were looking at, that kind of coincides with this. So I think if we get up to here, that's going to be probably a good spot to fade that. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that, but I do think we come back down and retest here. We'll see how that plays out. Interesting start to the session though. I haven't really seen a whole lot actionable on the rest of it. One thing we like to look at is the USD JPY, and I do not see that here, so let's do this. USD JPY. I think the USD JPY cross is definitely important to keep an eye on. I think it leads, and so let's zoom out here. Oops, wrong time. That's the 2 hour. As you can see, we've broken down there. We're basing here. I think ultimately, I think this does break down, but let's go to a larger time frame to take a look at that. Okay, so let's look at big picture here. We got this support and resistance area here. That's a 111.72. That's been breached, and now we're looking at this. I think we're basing here, but I think this 110.67. I think that breaks down to the downside. So as you can see, there's just not there was this big move up. There's these little spots of support and resistance. 109.77 area, 108.60 area. I think this area here, in here at the 107, let's call it 107.50 area. 107 to 107.50. I think is you're going to see some support step in here. But until then, I think there's not a lot of reason for this to kind of stop through here. I really don't. Um, I think there might be some pauses along the way, but I think there's a lot of downside risk to the USD JPY. So I think the dollar is weak short term here, and this leads USD JPY leads. So like I'm saying, I'm kind of a bearish outlook, though I do think there's going to be. Do not be surprised if we get a green Monday and a green Tuesday on the SPY ES. Okay, so that's kind of the currency situation here. Euro EG, I think that's going to be have some actionable stuff on it. Um, so we'll see what sets up. Also, we have our hourly probability plays too that aren't so much tied to our overbought, oversold swing levels. So um, we'll be looking for those tonight. UJ, also I wanted to point out, a lot of times we catch that overnight, but since it started breaking down, that setup hasn't been as reliable, and so we're gonna see less of that being called out. Um, Kind of being defensive on that, and so I've got some specific entry rules that I want to see before we get into it, um, until things change. Otherwise, that trade won't be as forgiving as it was. We had a good run though. That should have made you guys, quite a bit of profit um, for the time that we've been taking it. So that's how they go though. These things change. Okay. Let's take a look at the week ahead on news, and so you guys can kind of get your heads wrapped around what we're looking at and spots that we will, you know, look to avoid. Okay, so as far as like high impact news, not there's not a lot of high impact news this week, as would be noted by the red icons. Um, there's some stuff that would affect some overnight positioning, maybe in the currencies and stuff like that. But what we do have quite a bit of is we have the Fed member speaking. So here we have one, and this is on Monday, 1:15. We got another one here, and then we have Canada speaks. We've got another one here. Kaplan is just on a tear today or this week. Um, we got another one here on Wednesday. Let's see, where do we go? Friday, 10 a.m. We've got Kashkari. He speaks there. So we've got some, I don't know if you call them mines, but mines in the field. But anyway, anything can happen on those. If the bots interpret something that they say to be hawkish or dovish above and beyond what they were anticipating, then you could get some weird action in the market. So typically, kind of lay off until they're done, talking. So those are the ones that I'd probably just keep in mind on those. As far as the rest of it, though, um, nothing too up. We have our oil on Wednesday. Um, that would really affect the dollar CAD. So there's not a whole lot here. So for the week, we should be, pretty open for entering trades and stuff like that. We'll just watch our overnight stuff for when we have things like here we have the euro tomorrow morning 4 a.m. High impact. So that's something to keep in mind when we do look at maybe entering the euro USD or the euro pound. Take a look at that. But other than that, not a whole lot. So pretty open week. Friday 4:30. There's a high impact on the pound, but we'll keep it. We'll keep an eye on that. So pretty decent week for trading opportunities, I think, news wise, and not being blocked out by too much news. Okay, last thing I wanted to cover was the VIX and go over kind of where that's at, how it popped last week, and kind of correlated with a few more entries the latter half of the week. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so last few days here, we've seen the VIX kind of climb here. We even peaked out. This is our 13 line here, and this is we've got this on a percentage scale because we've got some overlays, so we wanted to see, comparison relative to the other VIX indexes that are or indices that are related to currencies. So just to run through what we're looking at here real quick in case you guys don't remember. This is the pound VIX, this line here, this like salmon colored line. This is the yen VIX, this blue one, and this purple one is the euro USD VIX. Okay, so just again briefly to just kind of go over this, we don't like seeing these big separations on VIX versus the currency VIX indices. Okay, especially when it's down below our 13 line. 13 line is just that magic line in the sand where our binary option trades just, we get more opportunities and we see premium come back into the market. Below that, it's not very tradable, and we're basically looking at the money type entries. So as you can see, the FX volatility indices have kind of come down in line with the VIX. I like to see that. I like to see them in line. I like to see the VIX higher than they are. Okay, that just gives us better premium pricing. They can be separated, like in this situation here, as long as if we're over 13, then a lot of that can happen, and it's no big deal. But when we're under 13 and it's like this, it's it gets real tough. So if you guys remember December, toward the second half of December, you guys were just loving it because we were just killing it with the signals, and you can see where the VIX was well above 13, right? January got a little tough. We still had a positive month, but look at where the VIX was, and then look at the separation. February continued to be kind of the same. Low VIX, didn't get a lot of opportunities, and again we were kind of separated from the other FX volatility indices that started to come together in line. And then the second part of last week we started getting a lot of entries, and if you're in the advanced room, we had there's a few more things going on in there than what's being tweeted out, and so we had a really good finish on the week there. And right now with the I don't like touting this stuff, but the half off stuff that Bob's running is a really good opportunity to get into the advanced room, because we talk about concepts in there, and there's other entries that are a little bit more advanced, or stuff that isn't really tweetable, that are more you got to be quicker on the action. So it's really you have to be in the room live to kind of deal with those situations. So that's kind of the what goes on in there. But anyway, I think this might teeter around the next 48 hours. Do expect that to pop though. I think we're back into more higher volatility land, and that's really gonna be great for the binary option signals. I'm really looking forward to that. So that's kind of where we're at with the VIX. and kind of our current setups here Sunday night for our FX trades. I'll get on the horn on the videos more this week, so bear with me on the absence, but get back to some more regular video postings. All right, that's about it for now, and wish you guys a great week of trading, and I'll see you next time. All right, guys, take care.